Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here, Wisdom in Golf, and boy do we have a treat for you today. I'm here with Sir Ian Fraser, and we're talking about an amazing new shaft. How long have they been on the market now?
We've had them in the store now for about 4 months, so very new to market. Yep, TPT shaft out of Switzerland.
So thin
ply technology.
Thin ply tech. And what's the story behind them? You gave me a great story before. I'd like you to share it with everybody.
Well, their kind of background and history has actually been in making sailing masts. So they were very prominent in the America's Cup, and they would make the lightest, strongest sailing masts out there, and they would win the America's Cup pretty much every year. So they had a real unique secret.
There's a lot behind those ships
well,
and those boats, the way
when you look at the strains and the load bear that's on that, and they want it to be aerodynamic and they want it to be as light as possible because they don't want to make the boat any heavier than it needs to be for speed and all that sort of thing. So when you start getting into sort of strength to weight ratios, you really need the finest materials out there. And
I can see the reasoning behind it and why it would apply so nicely to golf, because in the wind, it's got to give.
Absolutely.
If it's too brittle, it just snaps, right?
Yep.
So it's got to have a certain flex, and it's got to have a coefficient of restitution.
It has to have strength. It has to have the ability to create energy and release it. It's no good just keeping energy and storing it there. We have to release it and at the right time. So they've kind of entered the market, and it's high end. The price is not cheap.
This is the first time I've ever had a G note in my hands as far as just a shaft.
Most people will be shocked to hear that there is a $1,000 shaft out there, but there's technology in this thing that backs it up. And a little bit about the structure and the manufacturing process.
Yeah.
The big secret is the radial tolerance.
Okay.
Right. So that when it talks about radial tolerance, it is across the 360 degrees of this shaft.
Yes.
How much does the strength change? How much is the structural stability compromised at any degree of that?
Because there are a lot of shafts that have spines in them.
There are. So they actually measured other premium shafts in the industry, and we only carry the best shafts in the world at TXG, but they measured some other premium shaft companies, and there was a 7.3 cycle per minute tolerance between different shafts. So they would measure it on one plane, flip it around, measure it on another plane, and there was about 7.3 CPMs of difference, which is quite a lot. It's about a flex of difference, a fraction over flex of difference. So depending on where that logo goes, you maybe have your shaft that you think is one flex, but it's actually playing like another flex.
Yes.
TPT were able to bring their tolerances a little bit tighter than that and have it just over 2 CPMs of tolerance. Wow. So 2/3 improvement, massive. We'll take it when we can get it.
Absolutely.
Is consistent. So radial tolerance is the big thing, and they can actually manufacture these to any torque, any kick point you want. The machining is so high end. Justin Rose just put it in the bag. One with it straight away in Shanghai.
Wow.
Went straight to Turkey, one with it again in Turkey.
How's that for a testimonial?
Well, there you go. And straight away when he put it in the bag, it instantly gave him performance, and he almost won the race to Dubai, just get pipped at the post. So,
that's right.
Instant.
That's right. Well, somebody else snuck in.
Absolutely. Well, Tommy Fleetwood had a good lead to start with.
That's right, yeah.
Rose
they were
was
sitting
driving
on pins and needles, weren't they?
They were. But Rose was driving it great with the TPT, and obviously, we'll see what that does for him.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's hit a few.
I can't wait to try. Now you've got this driver set up a certain way. We're gonna be going for slower swing speeds first.
Yeah, well, we in some of our previous videos we thought it was more appropriate to the viewership to make it realistic to the average golfer swing speed. You're very fast naturally,
right?
So we're going to just dial that back to about 100 miles an hour again, somewhere around about there. So this shaft is the 17 series from TPT, 63 grams.
It sure doesn't feel like 63. Feels heavier.
Feels a little bit heavier.
Oh my goodness, yeah. This feels like the steadiest 63-gram shaft I've ever had.
Hopefully it gives us that sledgehammer effect of creating,
exactly.
More speed and momentum.
It gives you the feel that you've got some heft in there.
No question.
So let me get my intermediate point back in. So I'm gonna play a little power fade.
Really dialed the speed back nicely there, Shawn. That was That was probably somewhere in the kind of mid-90s, maybe even low 90s, which for you is a lot slower than you're used to being.
Yeah.
91.
There you go.
Okay, so we added all the you know, it was well struck, it was
right
you know,
in
it was
its-
good,
right
it
in
was
a
very
button.
efficient. You know, we've spoken in other videos about the efficiency that GC Quad we look for is about 1.45, so we know how efficient you were on that one. Super delivery.
Good.
Okay, so let's hit another couple. Maybe why don't we ramp up the speed a little bit?
Sure. Yep.
Go up into the mid-90s, maybe even a little higher. Beautiful. Lovely little power fade coming back.
That's it. Okay.
If
That should
only
give
you were
that should
consistent.
give you some pretty close numbers.
Wow.
98.
Yep, so we got a little more, got a little spin spike on that one.
Yep.
Strike point was 6 millimeters below the equator. We like to see that, you know, a fraction
A little higher. Got it.
But in terms of the ball speed produced there, it was exceptionally consistent, exceptionally
This
fast.
this shaft feels really good.
Stability is the word, isn't it?
my goodness.
Everyone who tries it.
It's so easy to
Yeah.
swing. I can really feel it tracking.
Yep.
And you know, when you feel it track the arc, it gives you this nice sense of stability. One more like that?
Let's do it.
It's a little bit off. Be interesting to see how off center that was.
Probably going to see that heel side, do you think?
Yeah.
Had a little bit of cut, a little bit more. Yeah, just
Just-
low, just low.
Just low
okay.
in the face.
So let's go and see if we can adjust that strike point. Let's see if we can move that up the face a little bit and do another
Okay.
one around the same speed.
Yeah, same speed's good?
Yep.
Okay. Just bring that tee up a little. I think I kicked that into a little bit more of a gear there. It should be pretty good strike. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Much better, much closer to our center there. 3 millimeters low, 3 millimeters toe. I mean, that's next to
Okay.
nothing with how forgiving today's drivers are.
Right.
Yep. So we're still seeing that driver spinning for you a little bit. So
Right. So it's spinning a little
it's
too
spinning
much.
a little too much.
So how
you
would
know,
we bring the spin down?
We're going to, we're a couple of different ways we can do it.
Because I mean, my angle of approach is okay.
Yeah, your angle of attack was absolutely fine. The stripe being a little bit low there.
Yeah.
So we would probably, you know, and you like to kind of move your swing around a little bit. I'd
Yeah.
ask you to maybe turn it into a little bit of a draw for me.
Okay, sure. Let's hit a draw.
Okay.
Let's see how it does with a draw.
We should shed a significant chunk of that spin with the draw. Yeah, you're going to like this one, Shawn.
Ooh. Okay.
A little bit different.
A little, huh? So, wow.
Right. So
Unbelievable.
We actually didn't increase the club head speed. In fact, you lost club head speed.
We brought the speed down.
You brought the speed down, but we brought the efficiency of your launch characteristics, mostly in the spin. Ball speed was very similar, launch angle was very similar, yet there was 32 yards of difference in flight. So, monstrous changes, game changer. Strike point was higher, like we talked about, trying to get it above the equator of the club,
Isn't
that red
that
line.
something?
Yeah,
So just me going to the draw.
just you turning that club
Wisdom
into,
in golf, everybody.
without a doubt.
Unbelievably, I mean, it's. I just love the way the shaft tracks.
So look at the difference. So for you, when we're swinging from out to in and we have that fade swing going on, we have to obviously keep the club face to the right of the path in
Yeah.
order to get the ball to finish on target.
Yeah.
Generally that means an increase in dynamic loft, delivered loft. because we have to keep it open. So your previous drive was at 21.7.
Oh, look at that. I see.
Okay.
Got it.
So we had the last one at 16.2. So the difference between the angle of attack and loft, it's a term called spin loft.
Right.
So your spin loft was significantly lower on that last one, which is where you dropped the spin rate from. That combined with the strike point, Shawn, is what really made the huge difference there. That you couldn't have illustrated that any better.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So a really good lesson on that one.
I think there's a great amount of feedback to take from that as to how important all those variables are.
Now, so if you wanted to go up in speed,
Yeah.
what would you change in the shaft?
So the shafts go up in weight. They
Yes.
have two different kick points. They have a low kick point right now, and they have a mid kick point. They're just about to release a high kick point. It's still in prototype stage right now, so we're staying close.
Now, you were saying that there's no flex characteristics?
There's a CPM designation to the butt flex, but it's not categorized as this is a regular, this is a stiff. So they've went with series 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. A lot of people in the industry, Shawn, have been hoping for this for a long time, that they would just throw away the flex designations.
Right.
Because one person's regular is different from another person's regular.
Exactly.
Right? And how do you ever get the continuity to make a right choice as to what's right for you?
Exactly.
Well, the answer
I
is...
remember, going with a client to a golf town.
Yeah.
And we're trying out these Cleveland irons with graphite shaft and a regular flex. I'm going, this feels stiff.
Yeah.
And then we tried somebody else's stiff, and it was like, my goodness, there was so much give in there. It was all over the map.
Without a doubt, there unfortunately just has never been an industry standard for what is a stiff shaft or a regular or an extra stiff. We use the cycles per minute, CPM, as a measurement, but CPM doesn't truly represent the whole bend profile of the shaft either. In that EI curve that we look at when we profile shafts, and in terms of where their stiffness is and where the softer spots are and how they create energy and load.
And how it feels in the hands of the person.
Well, that's such a big factor, because if the player tells me they like it to feel a certain way, I'm then putting together a combination which I know that they'll enjoy the way that shaft loads, softer butt section perhaps with a stiffer tip. Yeah. All those sorts of variables.
I love. I love the fact that you're working with the person.
Yep.
And you're dealing with their feedback, and you're not saying, okay, according to the machine, you need to be fit this way. That's going on in the industry right now, and I really don't like that.
Yeah. The fitting is so not black and white. There never will be a computer that will produce an algorithm that will tell you the right head and shaft. Right. The human variable is too influential in the swing. Yeah. As soon as you feel something, you will react to it. You'll do something different with the delivery. Yeah. As soon as you feel the wrong thing, you will have an adverse reaction with that delivery, and we'll see a bad shot.
I'll put this in my driver tomorrow. This feels so good.
Yeah,
it really feels good.
Those numbers. I mean, that's about as efficient as you can be at 103 miles an hour.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
300 yards at 103 miles an hour?
A lot of people out there swinging 103 miles an hour going, how has he managed to hit that 294?
Isn't that something?
That's optimal. That's efficient.
It's like when I'm 90 years old, I'll still be hitting 300 yards. I love it.
You know where to come.
Hope you enjoyed that, you guys. We'll see you later.